Anyways, we were listening to Pretty Basic, and Alicia always like laughs really loud in the microphone. It like breaks the sound barrier every time, and everyone in my car was like, "This is so annoying. I don't want to listen to this."
I would not like that either. I feel like it's different when you're just listening versus when you're watching video and listening.
Yeah,
I agree. There's some podcasts that, or a lot of the podcasts I listen to are I only listen like in the car, like when I'm doing something. And I really like the video versions of them sometimes, just to like, it brings a different element to the conversation.
Yeah.
Especially ones like Pretty Basic where they have like a whole set and everything.
Yeah.
But then how do you feel like Dax Shepard is like very adamant on like podcasts are meant to be podcasts, and it like allows you to be more vulnerable and do things that you wouldn't necessarily do, like being seen.
Oh yeah, true. Like
that
you
they
shouldn't
should
have
stay
to.
that way.
Yeah, like
does she not do video then?
Which is crazy because it's like everyone does video now.
That is so interesting. Do they do like little clips on Instagram of them recording?
Maybe it's just they don't need to because they're just already so popular. It's like they don't need the extra promo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I would love to see the celebrities on there. I would love it.
I would watch every single one. Yeah.
But also I understand Dax's point of it, you being able to be more vulnerable and comfortable and stuff.
Yeah. You know, this kind of brings an interesting point too, because like, have you ever heard just social media advice or like, you know, advice from other people that they've already made it and they're giving you advice of like where they're at now in their journey versus like where you might be at, and you're like, because like I feel like a lot of people now need that video promo stuff. So if they were to start a podcast and try and just replicate Dax Shepard, they probably wouldn't be as successful, and they'd be like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, it's like necessary now. Claudia said the other day, like since they started doing clips on TikTok, they've grown like 5 times.
That's crazy.
5 times the amount, or they just like have, wow, like that's cool.
5 times the amount.
That makes sense.
What are you saying about your hair, Dev?
I keep seeing on TikTok that people are like, oh, your hair is curly, but you just don't know how to make it curly. Like we're just ruining our hair. So I bought all these like hair curling products to see if my hair would be more curly. I guess it is kind of a little more wavy.
It's definitely wavy a little. It looks like beach hair. Like it looks like
you use salt
had a great
spray
day at the beach.
I used some kind of hair Briagio hair curling. Yeah. And then I used Way curl spray.
Was your hair curlier like as a child?
No. It's gotten like wavy as I've gotten older.
Oh. Me too.
Wait, mine was so interesting.
Straight. Mine was like pin straight. There was like no body in my hair.
Whoa. Mine was like ringlets when I was little.
Oh, really?
And it just has gotten like less, but I think it's just like the bleach and stuff.
Yeah. My sister's the same
hard
way.
water.
Like ringlets, like beautiful, pretty hair. She used to like hate it though.
So did I.
She would like cut them off.
Yeah. I hated it too. I really want to like be good at that this year. That's like a goal.
What?
Like just
like
actually
with
taking
your curly
care
hair.
of it. It's just annoying because you have to get it wet every single day. Like that's the annoying part.
Yeah.
And I like to shower at night.
There's so many girls that have like good curly hair videos. But it's interesting though because they do kind of like almost manipulate it a little bit.
Yeah, you
like
literally
they'll
take
do
each curl and you like spin it around. Yeah.
Spin it around and everything.
Yeah, that is interesting. I feel like
Maggie,
if I did that, it would be real curly.
Have you tried like just washing your hair and then not brushing it and just letting it?
Yeah, that's what I do when it's natural.
Okay. Yeah.
And it looks good. Like it's very cute. I like it, but it's just like is good for the day. And then the next day, if I brush it whatsoever, or like even just when I wake up, it doesn't look good. Like I need to get like a spray bottle and just do that instead of washing it.
Yeah.
I have to say, Maggie.
What? I'm scared.
In your videos when you do like you're waking up, it's so funny like seeing you like first
I know.
and then you like brush it and it's like magic. And I'm always like
I have like the craziest hair when I wake up.
Yeah, Because it's truly so funny. It's just like so simple, but all you do is brush it and then it like looks pretty again.
But it actually
the
like
transformation from waking up to then you're brushing out. It's like, damn.
I know. I can really be like 3 different people, honestly, based on how I get ready.
It's very relatable.
Yeah, but when it's natural, like if I brush it when it's natural, then it turns into like a fro. That's not good.
I don't.
It is nice
I feel
though
like
that your hair holds a curl for so long.
Yeah.
People with curly hair probably just don't use a brush to brush it.
Yeah, they don't really. Or you get like a comb and then you like individually comb each piece is the thing. It's just like a lot of time.
Yeah.
I tell you what though, I love watching those videos.
Me too.
I don't think my hair would ever do anything if I did it, but I'm over here sitting and like watching like 10 minutes worth of their videos. Like them like individually like.
But then there's so many steps and then like the t-shirt towel thing and like there's so many things.
Yeah. I wonder if I used to have like those microfiber towels.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that would make a big difference for just like the dryness and
I think so. I think they say that you should do that. Do you guys use a silk pillowcase?
No.
Yeah, I do. I bought like 4 or 5. I just like rotate them out.
Oh, that's actually really smart.
Yeah.
See?
I think I guess I can't really speak to too many differences, but it makes me feel better.
Yeah. You'll probably get less wrinkles.
I fucking hope so. I need to start back on my like intense skincare treatments again.
Did you stop?
I cannot use anything because my face breaks out. It's so annoying.
Well, are you using like every day when you start using a new product that's like an active ingredient?
I don't know, I guess. I haven't added anything into my routine in a while.
This is a thing that makes me so frustrated because dermatologists, like when I went to dermatologists like when I was younger, like in middle school and high school, and it was so fucking frustrating because they didn't explain like the implications and the process for all of these different products that we were trying. And we're like middle school and high school, so we're not even listening, we're not really following directions anyways. So it's like they really needed to give us some more insights to this, but for like especially active ingredients that are doing something to your face, it's like cell turnover and stuff. You have to do them like very slow introduction, so it's like once a week to start, and then you build up to like twice a week, and it's like every other day or like every 2 to 3 days, and then you work your way up to them. But nobody really talks about that cycle because I think on the back of it, on the back of the bottles and stuff, a lot of them will give you like the regimen for what you should do like full time. So it's like 2 to 3 times a week or 3 to 4 times a week. So you're like starting out with that and you're wondering, your skin's like, what the fuck? And it's freaking out and it's like not able to adjust to anything. Yeah. So this is my little rant because I just wish that someone was telling me this stuff. Yeah. Especially because like I have such sensitive skin. So like and just being a girl, you're like so sensitive to like what your skin looks like. And I just wish so badly that someone would have explained these processes, because like the products that I was prescribed probably would have fucking worked for me had I been using them properly and like had all the support and stuff. But instead I was like, this product's trash, this thing doesn't work. Like I've tried everything under the sun, but yeah,
that was why I was worried when I just got like all that new skincare, because I'm like, wait, I'm not gonna know, like if anything happens to my skin, I will have no idea which is doing which. Like I need to do kind of one at a time.
True.
It's hard, and there's so many different like things for different people too, and like certain ingredients work better for other people.
Yeah. So have you fallen out of your routine of doing the skincare?
Me?
Britt, didn't you just say you want to get back to intensive?
Oh yeah.
My like treatments, like skin pen and like dermabrasion and like like those things.
I want to do something like that. I want to just a facial. I've never had a facial in my life.
Yeah. What is the one that it's kind of the opposite of a hydrofacial. It's one where they actually like push it in to your skin. It's like was it like a hydrojet maybe is what they called it? But it was really cool, and the actual science of it is interesting too, because having something like pushed into your skin goes deeper into your skin layers than like the sucking that normally happens for a lot of them.
Does it hurt?
No, it feels really good. Hydrojet maybe.
I need all the gunk sucked out of my face.
Yeah. It's just a really cool it was like one of my favorite facials I've ever gotten.
Did you guys ever do like Accutane or something like that?
No.
I didn't either.
I did like antibiotic prescriptions for it, but
yeah, I did like gel and stuff.
Yeah.
When I got like when I got the Depot birth control shot that you get like every 3 months, I got that like my sophomore year of high school or maybe freshman year, and it made me have the worst acne I've ever had in my entire life. Like it was like my whole face was covered. It was miserable.
And you can't like stop it,
and
right?
you can't.
Like,
it's the 3 months. Yeah, exactly. So I was like miserable. I felt so insecure all the time because it's like when it's on your face, like you can't hide it. Like you try to put makeup on, and then it just like looks worse.
You cannot
sometimes.
cover it up. Yeah, that sucks.
That was like high school, and then I had another like serious breakout my like sophomore year. Not like a serious breakout, like just like skin issues my sophomore year of college. And that was like horrific, especially like going out to bars and like,
in college.
You know, you're trying to like be more adult and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because it can feel like teenager-y to have acne, but like really acne is like a forever thing.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I think
there was somebody who was like every like 7 to 10 years your skin changes. So there's like people who have never had a single pimple, and then like whatever cycle
is that because they say like
getting acne.
They say every 7 years you're like like all your skin layers restart or whatever. Like all the top of the skin layers fall, so then you have like a fresh layer.
Yeah, maybe that's I don't really know. I don't know like the background behind it, but I think that's kind of what I experienced, like from going from like high school to college.
Wow, that's so true.
And stuff. I don't know. It's just not a vibe.
No.
Have you been using your UV face thing?
I need to start doing it better because these like little lines, I seriously think it's because I'm smushing my face. I woke up 2 times last night and my face was just like compressed into the pillow. It was like, I feel like, woke up like...
But it's like, how can you change how you sleep your whole life? Like, you also want to be comfy and sleep good. Like, you can't just be like you're in a coffin or something. Just like,
I know. I think Lauren Bostic like sleeps like that. And she was like, I need to like practice at least.
You need to put like bumpers on the sides of you.
I do have bumpers. I sleep with 2 pillows. Don't get so mad. He like hates when the middle pillow is touching him, but I'm like, I love rolling over and I like cuddle the pillow.
Yeah. I think they need to make pregnancy pillows like just for everyone.
Yes.
I think someone did.
Really?
I swear I saw that on social media somewhere.
Like they look so comfy.
Yeah.
They really do. Maybe I should just try that instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you'll just smush your face on the pillow, right? Or do you put it to the side of you and lay on your normal pillow?
I don't know. Let's just see. I don't know if it's worth like risking my sleep to like try and just sleep like, straight up, but maybe it is.
That's kind of what I think. Did you see Lauren Bostic or whatever on that yacht this whole last week?
I was like, what the fuck? Like, wait, that's insane.
It was literally below deck in real life.
It was like the most like tricked out yacht that I've ever seen, like in the whole experience.
Like they were just on a family vacation on this giant yacht. There were I don't even know how many people there were, but it looked like just so fancy. They had like themed dinners, like literally like the show Below Deck, but it wasn't.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
I wish they could give like price breakdowns.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if they ever would. I feel like they're the type of like Michael and Lauren are the type of people who would.
Yeah. I feel like it's got to be probably $1 million.
I don't know. This is what I was actually thinking about though. So you know how people are getting like $60 million contracts to go to Spotify?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what like Dear Media brings in, because if Spotify's like paying that much money to bring people in, that means they're making a lot of money off of them. Like they wouldn't. Can there spend still be a
Dear Media podcast? Like, because Dear Media podcasts are on Spotify, so could it still be under under Dear Media, but then be paid by Spotify to be exclusive on their platform?
I don't know, but what I mean is like
Spotify
Dear Media as like
a
but like Dear Media as a like, but Spotify wouldn't drop 60 million on somebody if they're not going to make like 120 million, you know? So it's like, what is Dear Media pulling in?
How do they even make it though? What do they get the money from?
With ads.
So they're signing up when they get a $60 deal, then they're releasing the rights to get money from the ads?
No, because sure, Spotify is a platform where people listen to podcasts. So they're paying them for the exclusivity. So people are only using Spotify. They're not using Apple or Stitcher or Google. They have to use Spotify. And then Spotify makes money from either if you don't have ad free, you're listening to ads, or you pay for a subscription for Spotify. So that's how Spotify makes money. But I think like Dax also still makes money from ads.
Spotify might take a cut too of the ads.
Maybe. But I think the main thing is the exclusivity.
Yeah. But like Dear Media probably takes a cut of the ads.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
I just wish I had like a behind the scenes of how all of it works.
I know.
Yeah. That's why I think I'm so mesmerized by like movie and TV people. Same. Because their lives are so like, we just have no idea how all of it works.
Like just right now, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how Ryan Gosling is dating they're married, Eva Mendes. And they have like multiple kids, and like they've only been seen in 2 pictures together publicly.
That's crazy.
Isn't that so crazy? Like they don't do red carpets together. There's like none of that. Like there's 2 paparazzi pictures of them ever.
I don't like that. I want to know
how is that possible?
What they're doing.
I think it's because a lot of the time when people get paparazzis, it's because they're want
calling
to.
them.
Yeah, like when Taylor Swift did the other day, it's like she wanted to. It's not like she knows how to hide what she needs to hide.
Yeah.
She called them.
I would assume.
For what? What was it? I don't know what it was.
She was just walking around in New York, but people think it was like confirmation that her and Joe did break up. Because she's never seen unless she wants to be seen.
Yeah. She does crazy shit, right? She like was in a trunk.
To get on the stage?
Or I don't know. Like she like I think there was something about her being in a trunk to like get to the car or something.
It's to get on the stage. They like push her in this like in a trunk type thing. Yeah, Harry Styles does the same thing, and everyone knows that it's them. Like people are like, "Wow!" when the trunk's going by.
Why? Why did they do that?
Because otherwise they'd have to walk. Like they when they're being seen because they're going underneath the stage, and I don't know. Just the way they have to go through is like in front of everybody. So to stay hidden, they have to be like fully covered.
What do other like singers do?
I have no idea. Those are the only 2 artists I'm deeply obsessed with.
Depending on where you're playing too, like you should come off from backstage to the stage. Like
that's what I was thinking. Like, is there not a backstage? Audience. But then also when Taylor left, like at the end of the night, she walked out. Like we all saw her walk.
Maybe like at stadiums and stuff, it's different. Like if you're in a theater. You're just backstage and then you walk out onto the stage.
Because there's like a hole underneath, like under the stage.
Yeah.
Because that's where she like pops out and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should I?
I love seeing. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to finish your thought?
No.
Okay. Oh, welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brittany.
Today, we're going to be talking about being in funks and getting out of funks because all 3 of us have been in a funk lately and we're trying to get out, and I think we are a little bit. So we're going to talk about how we've been doing that. When do you guys think your funk started?
I think like January, February.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I don't think I realized I was in a funk until like February though, which is not productive.
Honestly, I think I was depressed, but the thing about I just feel like I don't have the right to say that I'm depressed. And I don't know if you guys ever feel that way. Like if you're not sad enough or you're like, I'm still able to get out of bed, I still take a shower, I still post on social media, but I just feel like I am depressed, but I just feel like
you can have high functioning depression for sure.
Yeah.
It's just weird, like, because usually when people are depressed or anxious or, you know, whatever, when you hear about it, it's so extreme. And so then, like, it just feels like I can't say that I'm depressed or something, or like that people won't see it as depression and be like, oh, well, just, you know, you need to go work out, or you need to go do this or do that.
Yeah, I wonder what of that has to do with like people pleasing too, because like when I was in middle school probably is when I started being depressed more, and I felt I was still like functioning and stuff because like of my need to please people.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, like I feel like it is a people pleasing thing because I feel like I don't want to take up people's space and time to worry about. Like, even when I just went to the doctor, it's like I there's several things that I want to talk about, but I'm just only going to do like the top 2. Or like even going, I feel weird about going to the doctor for anxiety medication because like I just don't want, I don't know, I don't really know how to put it to words, but like, yeah, like I don't feel like I have the right to like take up that space because it's not.
When I went to therapy in middle school and like they told me that I had anxiety and depression, I think that's like what made it fine in my mind or something, that I was able to say it. And I think like if you went to a therapist or anybody and you described all the things that you're feeling, then they would be like, yeah, you're probably like have high functioning depression. And it also doesn't mean that just like your whole life you're depressed constantly. Like it can be in and out periods. Yeah.
That's one of the things that like actually helps me feel better and like helps me get out of a funk is like identifying it and naming it, or like explaining. Even one of the things I thought about like last week, I was like, my ego is wounded in this. And by literally saying like, it's my ego that's talking and it's my ego that's being affected by this, it made me feel so much better than just like feeling this like anxiousness or like this like weird feeling in my head. I was like, no, it's my ego that's wounded. And,
what is your like ego saying to you in those moments? Like, is it like a voice that you hear or something, or like?
I think it's just like, yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, I guess that would be a good way to describe it. That it's like a voice talking. But before I named it, it was just kind of these thoughts in my head. You know what I mean? Like, it was just these random thoughts happening. And then once I named it, like, it's my ego talking, it felt so much better and more freeing. And like, I knew how to deal with it versus if it was just these random thoughts, like just kind of accumulating and making me feel like shit. It just kept getting worse and there was nothing I could do about it. But by naming it and being like, oh, that's what's happening, it just made it so much better.
Wow, I love that. That's like literally the Jonah Hill documentary that he did about his therapist called Stutz that I loved. That's like, Stutz has a huge thing about that. He calls it like your shadow, and how you constantly live with this like shadow in you who's telling you these things in your head constantly, where it's like a different version of you, or like your worst version of yourself almost, where it just like shoots you down 24/7 or whatever that part of you says like negatively. And you have to like learn to live with the shadow and learn to like talk to it and bring it along with you.
Yeah, and it's trying to protect you because it's holding on to like that one time when you were hurt or, you know, whatever. It's trying to protect you from ever feeling that way again.
I need to watch the rest of that. I started it, but I think I just got distracted and didn't finish it.
Yeah, it's like a one you need to like pay attention to, but it was so good.
Yeah. The initial pieces of it that I watched were really amazing. And I love the little drawings he did.
I know. That's so cute. I really struggle with that though, of like a voice in your head of like when you're negative towards yourself, because and people are like, be more gentle with yourself, like go easy on yourself, remember all these good things. But then sometimes I don't know, like I feel like I do need a harsher voice sometimes, where I feel like I'm maybe too easy on myself. But then at the same time, I do have a lot of negative thoughts. I don't know. It's like very confusing to me. Like, because I do constantly have negative thoughts. Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah. Telling you to know, you deserve to have some harsh words.
You're probably right.
you know, like the saying of like you can't shame yourself into doing something, and like maybe there's some shame that like makes you like start moving, but it's not like a lasting change. And I forget about that sometimes. Like you can't make yourself feel like shit and then like stick to something because it's just centered around shame. Like you have to be like,
whoa,
you have to like hype yourself up and like
I think that's
more
like
reasons and
everything in my
stuff.
life I do is like around shame, probably.
Yeah. I definitely deal with a lot of shame, and it like gets me down, especially like just not doing something. If I like avoid something, or like I know that I should do something but I don't do it, I feel so much shame, and it like
Same. Like
paralyzes
I'm like,
me
you're
into
so
not
lazy,
doing
you're the
it.
worst. Like how could you be like this? Like you're not a good person almost.
Yeah. I hate that thought cycle. That's like one of the worst things.
But then I think like maybe I am a little lazy. Like maybe like I don't. That's why it's hard to like recognize.
But like, you telling yourself that or calling yourself lazy is not going to help. What you need to be able to do is to give yourself grace and tell yourself that you are doing enough and that you're happy and you're, you know, that's enough, because that's how you're going to be happy, you know, like.
Yeah, and then find like motivation elsewhere.
Yeah.
I also think another big part of like, I don't know if this is what you feel too, Maggie, with like the shame is like my expectations for myself are here, and what I'm actually capable of doing in that particular day, week, or month is here.
Always.
And so this gap is so fucking like, what's it called? It just feels huge. Yeah, it feels huge, and it just feels very like daunting, and this gap is what makes me feel like shit. But I'm like, wait, I can just like adjust the expectations and make myself feel better. Like I don't have to try and go here every single time.
That's so true. That's like everything when I'm like upset in life, it always has to do with that. Like it could be not even about myself, but like a day or my expectations of how the day will go, or if I'm going to do something fun, I'm like, oh, this and this and this will happen. And then if it doesn't live up to my expectations, I'm like, damn, I'm sad.
Yeah. I used to be like that a lot when I was younger, especially with like my earlier relationships.
Yeah.
That was
a relationship
detrimental.
Thing
that was
too.
so bad. I'm always very sorry about doing that.
I know. Sometimes I want to like apologize to my ex-boyfriend. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I know.
I was the problem.
I should have told you what I wanted, or actually just not had any expectations for it.
Yeah.
Whenever I have those like negative self-talk or just like a lot of those feelings, one of the best things that, and it's really hard to make myself do it in the moment, is just writing all of my thoughts down and putting it on
it is
paper.
hard to do it in the moment.
It's really, really hard. And I don't know what the best way to like make myself do it, because it truly, as soon as I get it on paper, I'm like, oh my God, I feel such a weight lifted off of me. And like
every single
you can also
time.
more clearly see what the problem is. Like, because in your head it's like 20 different problems, and then you write whatever you're thinking on paper, and you're like, oh, it's actually this thing.
Yeah, because like last week I didn't even know why I was sad. It was probably a combination of like several things, but if I would have probably sat down and like wrote it out, then it would have helped me understand. But also, I don't know if any of it was really rational. Like, it's problems that I have had all the time, but like for some reason, like last week and the week before. Well, no, I mean, like, I'm happy most of the time and I still have those problems. But like last week when I was feeling depressed, it was like weighing me down so much that I couldn't see any happiness in my life when I usually can, you know?
Yeah. Those are the moments though, like last week was probably so hard to even consider journaling, right? Or like just writing anything down.
Yeah. I like, even if I like pull my journal out or like put it on my nightstand or something, like I still don't. And I know it makes me feel so much better every time. I was thinking lately I should just try doing it in my like notes app or something, because that is more like accessible kind of. But
it's easier to open up.
I don't know if the Huberman Lab podcast just did something on this, but there is something that is very important about like the physical aspect of writing.
Yeah.
Even though, you know what I mean? Like it's
also my
it
hand
slows you down.
I know.
Writing?
Okay, that was enough today.
Yeah, when I'm like doing
that's why I don't like writing.
Like, goddamn.
It's
There was this one girl that said she journals by literally just drawing loops, but it does the same exact thing for her.
Because she's
in
thinking
her
the
brain.
thoughts while she's doing it. So then it like...
Oh.
But then you can't reflect back on that. That's the only downside I feel like of that is you can't read it
and
back.
like my brain forgets things so quickly.
Yeah.
But you know, like what we're all talking about is how hard it is to get ourselves to journal. So honestly, to just get out of that loop, maybe the just circles and loops and everything
just
start will just help it start it and like break the cycle of it all.
Yeah.
Maybe we could also like hold each other accountable if we're trying to do it like as an everyday thing or every other day or something. Yeah. Be like, did you journal today?
Yeah. That's the other thing too, is that when I first started journaling again, like my expectations were that I don't have to do it every day because that, again, expectations thing of like, if I do it every day and then I don't do it, then it just makes me feel like shit. So I was like, I don't have to do it every day, but I think the habit of it that it creates does make a difference because then since you're doing it every day, when you're feeling like shit, hopefully it breaks the cycle faster.
Definitely. Like if you go through my journal, it's literally like a day and I'll be like explaining how happy and like all the good things going on, and then it's like a 2-month break and it's like, sorry, I've been depressed and now I'm back. And then another 2-month break.
Mine's like normally like 2 weeks or so, or like I get on a good roll, so I'll have like 5 days or like 3 days or something. And then there's like 2 to 3 weeks or like a month. And I'm like, oh, the last time I wrote was like in March. That's funny.
Yeah. I'm so bad at that.
The other thing that's been really helping me get out of funks is just asking myself the question of like, how can I have more fun with my business? How can I have more fun with creating content? How can I have more fun like with everything? And that just makes it so much easier to get going again because you're not thinking about this long ass to-do list. It's how can I like have a good time with this whole thing? And it's such an incredible difference maker and makes me want to like actually start doing it instead of like, oh, I have to go and like write this paper or whatever.
For sure. That was like that mindset thing where I was like pretending it was the weekend every day, like just so it would feel more fun.
Yeah. I feel guilty when like I'm not doing enough work that feels like work though. Like if I'm always just having fun, I'm like, am I actually being productive and like working?
And then I'm like,
that's why I like editing the podcast or editing a YouTube video because I have to sit on my computer for a long extended period of time. Whereas like when I'm editing little videos on my phone and stuff, it doesn't feel like work at all. And it doesn't feel like I'm doing anything productive.
I totally agree. Literally when my dad was here visiting, like I was working in the morning still, and I was like just sitting here but like on my phone doing things, and I was doing work things, but like I had the thought in my mind like, oh, will my dad like think I'm lazy or that I'm just like texting someone or something even though I'm like doing work right now. It's just a weird thought. Other people do work on their phones. Like it's not like we're the only people that work on our phones.
Yeah.
Like 2 examples of like how I switch things to how can I have more fun is like, say, you know, I need to show up on stories, but maybe I don't necessarily feel like it. How can I like not overthink the process of, okay, I should share this link or I should tag this brand or I should do this or that. It's like, oh, I'm going to share this like really interesting thought or like this fun recipe that I just found or something like that. Like, and that's how I like want to show up more instead of like overthinking the other part of the process. And then when it comes to like working dog mama, like for sales, like there's all these things that like you're supposed to do and whatever. And sometimes when I'm just like, fuck all of that stuff. And I'm just going to like talk about whatever. And sometimes that just like brings in more like conversations or.
For sure. Yeah. There's other great benefits that come from that.
But I definitely feel like it's just hard to get validation from other people with like the work thing.
Yeah, like the validation is like that's the same thing with me feeling depressed, but I'm not actually depressed. Like you need validation that you're working hard enough, you're being productive, your feelings are valid. Like
yeah, I was just telling Cameron that the other day. I was like, I wish I had a boss that would like tell me like, oh, you're doing a really good job lately or something. Because I'm like, you're only giving negative talk to yourself. And then imagine if your actual boss was just like shitting on you every single day. Like, it wouldn't make you want to be a better employee.
That's so fucking true. You're like, why would I ever want to work for me?
It's really worse.
There's like never anything good that comes out of her mouth.
Literally.
I've never thought about that before. That's big.
We need to like we should be our nice boss and like tell us all the good, tell ourselves all
that's
the
a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, it won't last, but
it could.
Oh, that's like 30 seconds. Do you guys notice like patterns of what makes you like slip into a funk? Because that's kind of what I'm trying to pay more attention to, is like, how is it happening to me?
That's interesting.
It used to be for me like when my routine would change or something.
Yeah.
Like whenever school would end for the summer or something, I would feel a shift in my emotions. But I think recently for me, it's been, the last time when I was depressed, I was feeling like I didn't have enough in my life, and like my life was too mundane and boring, and I did the same thing every day and the days felt the same, and I need something to look forward to or something to change.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just need a challenge more?
Maybe, yeah, because, maybe. I don't know.
Because like it's just too easy.
Maybe.
I feel like lately you have been challenging yourself more, and at least like socially or things like that.
Yeah.
That's like Maggie, you were talking about yesterday of like, you have all these big life wins, like putting an offer in on a house and all these things, but you're like, now you feel bad about the business side of things. But it's like, I guess we can't really just judge ourselves in siloed capacities. We have to like celebrate everything overall. And if you have a desire to, make more money in your business or try something new in your business, like just adding that to the goal list instead of making yourself, again, like shaming yourself into like, oh, you just put an offer in a house, you're still shit.
I know.
Like,
I don't know if it's true. Like humans being forgetful or something, because like even I posted a post like a few weeks ago where like my shitting on myself really is only about money or like how much money I'm bringing in, when like if I look at like my 15-year-old self, there's so many things that are in my life now that I wish for so badly that are happening or have already happened, like moving, being with Cameron, getting my dream fucking dogs, like so many things, that doing this podcast, like there's so many things, and like money's like the last thing basically besides like having kids. That's literally the last thing.
Yeah.
So I need to be more bird's eye view of it all.
Yeah. It's hard when every time you meet a goal, you just put the bar higher.
Yeah.
And again, like reality is not meeting your expectations.
That's one of the things though. I talked to my OBM, my online business manager, and I was like, we have to celebrate more. Like, and I need you to hold me accountable to celebrating more, because we had like a huge launch for Brand Deal Boss, like a huge sale. And I definitely celebrated to some degree, but I still didn't fully acknowledge it.
And you know what's
like, on to the next thing.
You're very good at celebrating other people. Like that's like one of your main things, is how good you are at acknowledging other people's accomplishments and celebrating them, but like not with yourself.
No, it's so bad. I think that's another thing, because that just brings more acknowledgement and like reflection to everything. And even Maggie, yesterday you're talking about like looking at your vision board and like seeing all the things that have happened already, and it's like the beginning of April still.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
And that's why I'm kind of like, okay, maybe that's another thing, is just like monthly, at least if you can't do it like every day or like every week, like monthly, trying to do that like bird's eye view reflection of like
journaling. Yeah. Having the vision board Pinterest widget on my phone has been like life-changing. Like I love it so much. It's so motivating.
Like, where it just like shows you a picture.
Yeah, like you can like all your widgets on your phone, you know how you can add widgets of like any app or whatever. You can do Pinterest and pick any of your boards that you have, and then it rotates through it. You can pick either once a day or every hour. So I do it every hour, and then it's like so motivating.
I love that.
Like, let me look right now.
How do you set
like
it
right
up?
Now it says Little Miss First Millionaire of her family, and then like it just motivates me. Like,
wait, edit widget?
Yeah, then to hold it down. And then you can do like add widget and then Pinterest. And then you can select any board that you have.
Oh my god.
Mine's still on my old vision board. I need to fix it.
But I just put that like right on my main screen, just with like my calendar and Spotify and my camera.
Do you have to like turn on Pinterest as an option?
Maybe, but
Pinterest
as long as you have it downloaded. Maybe you have to search
I'm gonna mess around with it later. Oh yeah, probably have to search it. Okay, I'm gonna mess around with it. I don't know, but it's very motivating. It's very motivating.
And then that is what gives me the reminders of like, oh, I already accomplished this. Like when my credit score that I wanted to get my credit back up and pay off debt. And then that happened. I literally got the exact credit score. I was like, sick. And then like yesterday, that's like crazy. Keys popped up of a house. And I was like, oh my God, like how crazy.
I love it. So cool. Do you think you're going to add more to your vision board now?
Probably. I still have a lot of other things. Or I put like that I want to do more travel collabs and stuff. And then it's like, okay, I'm doing that today.
Oh yeah, are you doing that to like going this weekend?
Yeah, I'm excited because this one's like the first I've done of like a city. So it's like we have like a full itinerary. Like there's a place for dinner tonight. There's a breakfast place. I have to meet a girl at the mall. And then she's like giving us stuff and like a Sephora gift card. I'm like, hell yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
Is it with a tourism board then?
I think so.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, because I've only ever done it like with the specific hotel, and then we kind of just do whatever we want.
I like that though, because then you can like see things that you might not have like done otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. I was talking to my dad, like I was telling him that I think I'm not ready to have kids because of the way that I just don't take care of myself, because we were talking about the dogs and how like I give them all their vitamins and supplements and I don't take my vitamins, and every day I prioritize them working out and I don't work out because I'm like, they need to do that first, like, or else I'll go crazy. Like all the things I put them first and don't do for myself. And I think that is kind of what makes me slip into the funks, is like not taking care of myself. And my dad was like, you always have to put on your oxygen mask first or else you're not going to be able to help other people.
But I think that's what all parents do. They stop doing anything for themselves.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good one, Maggie. I think that's a big thing. Maybe a good like sign is when I like am not doing the little things that
like that help you. And it's like you're almost sabotaging yourself because it's like that it will help you, but like your mind is like, no, don't do it.
It's one funny thing is like not like doing my hair, or like, because doing my hair and my makeup every day makes me feel so good, and it's something so little,
for sure.
And if I'm having like a shit day and I just do my hair and makeup, maybe I don't feel 1,000% better, but like it's at least a little bit of a bump. And
for sure,
similar to the journaling, like it's kind of
when I tan and give myself a blowout, it's like, okay, I'm out of the funk.
I feel like yeah. I hate when I like wait until like 3:00 to do it. Like I did it before our happy hour yesterday. Like,
oh really?
My hair and like, yeah, because I like needed a hair to like do my hair. I was like, why didn't I just do this when I first got up this morning? Like,
yeah, I do that sometimes.
Probably changed my day so much more had I had that.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So do you kind of like know when you want to have kids, Maggie?
Probably in like 2 or 3 years or 4 or 5. I have no idea. I feel like I'll wake up one day and like, no, but maybe not.
Yeah.
I definitely want to be like married for a little bit. But at the same time, like if it happened accidentally anytime, then I'd be like, all right, I guess this was supposed to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be mad. I'd probably be pretty sad.
Okay, I figured out the Pinterest thing. I'm really excited. But I just didn't have my notifications on.
Oh, good. That works perfectly. But I do think I need to get better at like certain things before having kids. But everybody thinks that they're not. Like you can never be like perfect.
Yeah. That's like I don't know if anyone if you guys follow Michelle from That Kid in Front of You.
Yes, I love her. Everyone go follow her right now, please.
Yeah. I still don't really want kids, but her making like a lot of the content she does about being a parent and like just bettering yourself every single day as a parent and like acknowledging the shit that you went through, I'm like, okay, that makes it a little bit better. But
for sure,
it does scare me a lot of the time of like, how like do you not fuck your kid up? Because like,
you do though. That's the thing. Like you will, and that like you can't do everything completely perfectly. And then also like if you have multiple kids, they're not all going to be the same, and you can't just like act one way and then they'll have the same experience. Like everybody will have a different experience too. Like with your siblings, you guys feel that? Like me and my siblings, they're a lot older than me, so there's like a big age gap, but like we had totally different experiences of our childhood. Or like if I try to say certain things about my parents, it's like they're like, no, that's not true. And I'm like, well, it's true for me. Like
yeah. No. Like my little sister thought that like my dad was not abandoning her, but she was like so afraid because he had girlfriends and stuff. Like she literally felt, I don't know, but I never had that
like
experience. Like, yeah. Which is so weird to me.
That is interesting.
My two younger sisters definitely had different experiences as well. And it's just funny. We're all just so different. And we all are very different personality-wise.
Yeah, that's why you experience things differently. Because
yeah. So I think it's also like hard because something that I needed, they probably didn't need, and something they needed, I probably didn't need. So it's like if you look at like what needs are being met or not met,
or if it's like
really easy.
You got that and I didn't get that, it's like, well, the parents needed to kind of treat you differently for who you are.
Yeah, I did not see that. I hated that so much.
I think as the oldest, you would always feel that way. Like, I don't know. I think that's an oldest child thing to be like, wow, I didn't get that.
Yeah. It was so my favorite thing my dad says, like, and it's annoying sometimes, but he's like, life isn't fair. He said it since I was like 5 years old or younger. Like, life isn't fair.
My dad says the same thing.
And I think it's a good thing. I think it kind of doesn't validate certain things. Like, I'm sure I could use like your feelings are valid. It's okay. Life isn't fair, but like you can still feel that way. But I think it gave me a good perspective on like I can control a lot of the things that I want to happen. So like if I don't think something's fair, like I have the power to go and do what I want, and I have the power to change things and like make it happen. And go get what I want. So
it's kind of bullshit when you're like fighting over a Barbie though, and you're like, well, I want it, and they say, well, life's not fair. You know, so you say that's not fair, and they say life's not fair. It's like, what? Just give me the Barbie. Like,
yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't always remember the context it was in, but it was definitely like very like not trivial things, but like it was more along the lines of, I think a good example, this is, and I'm making this up too, I don't fully know if this is something I would have said, but I can think of it, is like so-and-so got like this bike, or so-and-so like can watch this movie.
Yeah.
Or, you know, so-and-so doesn't have to do this thing. And I would be like comparing myself to somebody else, and my dad would be like, well, life isn't fair.
Yeah.
Damn, that really applies to now too. I never thought about that, because as a kid that's how you feel about all your friends, but like we still do compare ourselves to everyone, and it is so true that like life isn't fair. Everybody's gonna have different
I don't
things.
think I've ever accepted that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think I have either, I guess.
Try to get what I want. Like,
I guess I used it as more fuel and like motivation to
like I'm gonna
do
show
whatever
you.
I wanted, instead of like, okay, I think life isn't fair, but I'm still gonna figure out a way to like make it work for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never liked no as an answer. It's part of my
Same.
Me either. Well, me being the oldest, I always got what I wanted. So now,
really?
like, I don't take no for an answer.
That's so interesting, because like my siblings would say it's the opposite. They'd be like, you're the baby, you're spoiled, you got everything, and we got nothing.
No, I got everything too.
You got everything, and then
my sister was always the one saying that's not fair.
Oh,
that's so funny.
I think, yeah.
So you think that made it harder to not get the things that you want?
Yeah. I always got what I wanted. I was
Because that's how I
spoiled
feel as the
and
youngest.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I was just like, the things I didn't get were things that probably served me not to get.
Yeah, that's another thing is like, then you can think of the universe, God, whatever, like maybe you're not supposed to have that thing, or like maybe that path isn't meant for you, and then we're all like supposed to be where we're supposed to be.
Yeah. That was another thing I actually journaled about this week was failing and like how good it is to fail, because inevitably like you're not going to succeed at every single thing you do. And it's so much more powerful that like in like especially with coaching and stuff, if I didn't fail, like how would I help like other people through certain situations? Like if a brand never told me no, like I'd be
Then you wouldn't know
oh,
what to
like sorry,
say.
sucks for you. Like
I
but
always get
now
what I want.
yeah, like how is that going to be beneficial for like my life or my business or friendships or anything?
Yeah.
And so because I think I was getting down on myself about whatever, like failing stuff and taxes. Like I was getting myself down on myself a lot about that. Like, oh, I fucked up and I didn't do this or that correctly. But it's like, okay, now I have the knowledge to be like, hey, get an accountant. Like, just
yeah, you're
pay
not
a
an
fucking
accountant.
You're not an accountant. Like like as a freelancer, like independent
No, that's
person, if you have a
hard.
W-2 and 1099s, like
And you're
get
making
a
a lot of
fucking
money.
accountant. Yeah, like it's so much more worth it to not go through that headache.
For
And
sure.
now I have like I have stories and I have like things to back it up, and I have like I can share all these things.
Because everyone who is successful always has like a failing story. Like that's kind of their thing, and that's what draws people in to want to work with them or follow them or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I have on my list too about like what gets me down is like when I don't let myself feel my feelings.
Oh
and
yeah,
I try and like
wanted
coach
to
myself
talk about
through
that
it.
too.
Because what did I say last week? I don't know if we recorded it, but I was like, I said something of like how I should feel. And then I was like, just kidding. I actually don't feel like that at all. I feel like shit. Like,
yeah.
And I was like, I need to do that more often. Like, because I caught myself saying it, I was like, wow, I need to say that I feel like shit more, or I need to say this or that and not just brush it over and coach myself through it and tell myself that I need to do X, Y, and Z instead, or I should feel this way instead.
But we're so conditioned to do that. Like if you're hanging out with somebody, you're like, how are you? I'm good. How are you? Good. Like nobody's like, oh, I'm having a really bad day. This and this happened. Like nobody would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep seeing these like therapy videos that it's like when you have trauma, the way you heal is to like cry and feel the trauma, because especially me, I avoid it. So I don't want to feel the sadness or the anxiety or whatever. But like the best thing you can do to heal is just to feel. Even when you have anxiety, you're supposed to like acknowledge that you feel that way and write it out and let your body feel it. And I never do that. But was it last week or the week before when I was texting you guys and I said that I felt sad? After I told you guys that and like expressed it, I just sat on my kitchen floor and like sobbed. And I never cry when I feel sad.
Did it feel better?
But I feel like that's when I started feeling better after I like let it out.
That's crazy.
That's good. I don't cry as much like for sadness anymore. I don't think I let myself.
Yeah, like I cry to sad songs or TV shows or movies. Like that's when I can like express myself. But like, yeah, my own emotions,
I definitely catch myself like on the verge of tears, and I like try and distract myself instead of just like letting myself cry.
It's like
sometimes I'll want to cry, but I can't. Like I'll just be like, come on, just cry.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Start journaling. It'll just
tears on the paper. But Britt, you sent us an Instagram post like last week or this week or something about like when you're feeling so anxious and how you can't just be like, you're okay, like everything's gonna be fine. Like you need to make your body physically feel fine first.
Yeah. There's one part that I do want to read from that because I think it was like so helpful. I remember one part of it was like your brain is not rational enough to like think about that. Like it can't,
not at
doesn't
all.
get it.
Oh yeah, anxiety is literally makes no sense.
And it's like almost just pointless to keep saying it.
Because it's like still so survival mode. Like our brains aren't caught up to how we live life now, where it's still like it thinks that you're gonna die or like that something really, really bad is happening.
But like, how do you make yourself feel safe when the problem isn't even rational?
It doesn't matter if it's rational, I don't think.
Like, yeah, because top-down regulation, your brain telling your body to calm down during a stressful event, and even this is like stressful is like synonymous with like anything that gets your like whatever going. So it doesn't necessarily have to qualify as something that's stressful for somebody else, but if it's stressful for you or causes you anxiety, that's like reason enough for your body to start that flight or flight. So during a stressful event doesn't work because your system is designed to run or fight, not listen. So positive self-talk does work, but not in this circumstance. You need to regulate your nervous system first after a stressful event before you can reason. Your body needs to communicate with the brain that there is no more perceived threat. And so slow breathing is the best way to instantly communicate to your system that you're no longer needing the resources to run or fight, which I just think is so cool.
To me, slow breathing doesn't work because when I have anxiety, my brain is going crazy and I can't stop. Like, I need a distraction. Like, I will get on TikTok or something to make my brain stop these
Have you
like
tried
obsessive thoughts.
The 5 things rule, the anxiety thing? It's like when you're feeling really anxious, you name 5 things that you currently see, then you name 4 things that you can touch around you, 3 things that you can hear, whatever, all those senses. And then like that kind of helps you think about other things, and it does slow your breathing rather than, because sometimes it's harder for people to be like, okay, I need to take deep breaths or like box breathe or whatever. It's easier to be like distracting yourself, but in a way that's not like going into TikTok. Like,
yeah, because like when I have anxiety, if I'm focusing on breathing, it's the same thing as like when you're reading but you're distracted and then all of a sudden you realize you're not paying attention to what you're reading, you're in your head. I'll think about breathing 2 times and then I'll be back in my head and not thinking about breathing.
Do you think that's also health anxiety related? Because that's for me, like if I pay attention to my breathing a lot, where then I'm like, I'm having a heart attack right now.
Like, so that's when I like, if I think I'm having a heart attack, I'm like, okay, I need to distract myself to see if these physical symptoms go away. So then I'll get on TikTok and then I'll start to feel better and then I'll be like, okay, it was just anxiety.
Same.
But then like, my heart's pounding. You still like you're like still harboring a lot of that anxiety. And so it just kind of like builds upon itself.
Yeah, I think I have been having really bad acid reflux in my stomach again. Remember I told you guys a while ago when I had really bad anxiety, it made my stomach hurt. I've been having that again. And I think it's because like I'm holding on to all this stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
That I'm not like aware of at all the time.
That makes sense.
The 3 different breathing techniques that they gave in this post I think are interesting because there's one that's like breathe in, double inhale, and then long exhale, which I think is a lot easier to do.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah, I know. There's 3 different types of breathing because I don't really like that box breathing as much. I know.
Yeah, when you have to like hold it for so long. Yeah. I'm like, there's something wrong with me because I can't hold my breath for that long. Like,
or blow out for that long. Like,
I'm like, I don't have any more air. Yeah. My lungs are failing.
Yeah, but I like that other one. I'm gonna try that.
I've never tried that. That actually feels a lot better. Like, because it almost feels still like you're like harder breathing, like as if you would be doing when you're stressed out, but like slowing that down a little bit.
Yeah. Something that really helps me when my heart is racing is having weight on my chest, like just on my chest. And my sister actually has, you can get a weighted blanket, but like it's distributed too much. But my sister has a weighted like stuffed animal thing, which I feel like I need to go get one. But it's like a weighted.
What about Willow?
You have a Willow.
She's too big and too long. Like it can only be right here on my chest. If it's on like my stomach, it hurt.
Then that stresses you. Sometimes I have Finley go horizontally on my chest like this, and that helps more. I understand what you mean when it's like on your whole body, and then it kind of feels like your whole body's being like weighed down. But there's also a thing like right there on your chest. If you put ice there, that also can help a lot of the time. Like it like does something to your nervous system. I forget
like
what is
getting
what is
in
it
a
called?
cold bath or cold shower too helps restart your nervous system.
I think that Rosie is more in tune to Joe's emotions and like will respond to him more than she does me. I know.
Do you think he like outwardly expresses those emotions more than you or something?
No. But she'll sense it and she'll like jump on top of him and like lick his face and push on him.
Dogs are the
when
best.
I was crying last week, Willow like jumped on me for a second and then she jumped down and ran and got her ball and brought it to me.
That is Sadie.
And I like to think that she is like, okay, well, this cheers me up. It'll cheer mom up too. But it's really just like, cute. Oh, she's on the floor. Let's play.
Willow's like, oh, this means you want to play.
Yeah.
Cool. Cute.
Let's go.
That's what Sadie is. I'm like, you're so oblivious. Like, I'm crying right now. I don't want to play that.
That's what I want Rosie to do is like be attuned to me and like try to help me. But she doesn't. She's like,
she doesn't even acknowledge.
You're crying. Like,
I don't even know if that's like trainable or like if that's just the dog. I'm not even sure.
Well, I mean, she's very in tune with Joe's emotions. So I don't know. Maybe they just have a bond that I don't. Maybe because I didn't sleep with her the first night she came home. Joe's the automatic person.
Maybe. Does he feed her more?
Yeah, he does.
I think it's who gives the food.
It's all about the food.
They know. And exercise them. Like, I feel like those are the two main things.
Oh, do you feed and exercise more?
Mostly, yeah. Damn.
Well.
Because they like won't ignore the person who's giving them food. Like that's
so true.
Well, maybe that's how they like feel loved.
Probably. I feel loved with food.
It's like their love language.
Yeah. Also, today I was listening to The Toast with Remy Bader was on it. I think it was yesterday's episode.
Oh, I need to watch that.
It was really good. But they were talking about like creator things, and I don't know how it like got brought up, but it's like a lot of my problem or this year of my slump is like how things have been so slow in the first quarter and like how that's just hard to deal with because it feels like it's always going to be that way or something. And Claudia was talking about how you have to kind of start to like lean into those times because it really in this career it's either like you have weeks where you're like I literally can't breathe, like I have so much to do that I cannot get done, and then some weeks you're like I have nothing, like I could get another job right now and be totally fine. And so it's like leaning into those times that are super slow and being like this is really nice, I can take more care of myself in this time because it is going to pick up back again and like things are going to be crazy and I'll wish that I had more time to myself.
Yeah, the problem is that I like that idea of that, but the problem is when you're not busy enough, that's when your self-esteem starts to slip, at least for me.
Because you're sitting in your mind.
Yeah, like I wish, like when I worked for a company, I would have loved to just take a whole week off and do nothing and just sit on the couch and do whatever the fuck I wanted to do all day. But now, as like a business owner, if I did that, I would be depressed. I would hate myself.
Because do you think that's about your self-worth? Like that's how it is for me.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm a shitty person because like I'm not busy.
Because if you had an office job and you're taking a week off, then it's like, oh, I am a great employee. I'm doing all this hard work. I have a good job. I'm getting the time off that I deserve because of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I think having like intentional timing of that makes such a difference. Like when we were in Montana, we like decided, okay, we're not going to really post that much. And it has to be like, but maybe you need like to plan that out like 2 months in advance or something. It can't be like, okay, it's the beginning of April, like, and the first week of May, I'm going to do this. Like maybe that's too fast for you. Maybe you need like 2 to 3 months ahead and you're like, okay, I'm going to take this entire week off and not do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I feel like for me I would need more of like a monetary goal or like something. when I was a graphic designer, I didn't really have the dream. Like, I was content doing what I was doing, you know, like I was content with my job. I wasn't like trying to reach these crazy goals. And now as a creator, I'm trying to reach these crazy goals. So now I can't let myself have a break because I'm not going to get the goal if I do take a break, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and like
Emily Kaiser's out here vlogging right after she got a boob job. And I'm like,
did she show them yet?
No.
I do not understand how she is doing stuff.
But she also has so much validation.
Like, sit up.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how she vlogs every day. If I vlog all weekend, I'm so over it.
Yeah. I feel like it's also about the intentional breaks versus when, like, brand deal wise, where you're like, okay, that's not even intentional. Like, I'm just not getting them. Like, it's not like you're taking a break. Like,
no one's calling.
Yeah. Like, I took off January, February, and March.
Yeah. So. Exactly. I think it's reminding I need to remind myself of those slow times. So then, like, next year when it happens, to not freak out. And then also, like, I still made a great income for myself for Q1 because of what was in December. Like, so even though that was last year, true. I got the money this year, and then that does count. So even though even though Q1 was slow this year, I still got the income from December. So you just need to, like, think about it in different ways.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's very hard. I've been seeing a lot too about, like, consistency and, like, discipline and motivation versus
that's what makes me feel like
motivation.
Shit about myself.
Same, because I can't have I don't know how to have discipline.
Motivation. Yeah.
Same.
But that's like, I feel like consistency and discipline are both, like, easier to control and, like, build upon. Because you can literally, consistency can look like once a week. And most people can do once a week for something.
It's, again, setting your mental expectations, I guess.
But if you're like, hey, I'm going to go out and do this 7 days a week or, like, 2 times a day, like, that's kind of crazy. But
it's like, I post every single day on social media. That's discipline, right? But, like, to me, that's not enough.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's knowing what the next step of your discipline or, like, consistency has to be. Like, you have to be like, okay, and this is just my thought process. You don't have to do this. But, like, if you do something consistent for, like, once a week for, like, 3 weeks, then like, having, like, a date of, like, okay, it's been 3 weeks. Now I'm going to bump it up to 2 times a week. And then 2 times a week for maybe, like, 4 weeks or 5 weeks. And then the next is, like, 3. And this other thing too is, like, knowing about, like, being okay with things slowly starting instead of expecting, like, the immediate, like, oh, it just, like, happened overnight.
Yeah, like, I think my discipline should be, like, doing 20 things every day when, like, that's not realistic too.
That just made me
be a robot.
Yeah, no, that's not at all. That made me think of how we were just talking about how all, like, kids are different and, like, the way people learn is different, and some people want discipline or punishment, and then some people perform way better, like, with rewards or positive reinforcement and stuff. And I was thinking about, I wonder if that's more me. Like, I don't know. Well, like, maybe I could figure out what works best for me. Like, will I stay more disciplined if I give myself a reward at the end of the week if I, like, complete the things versus, like, or maybe I need a punishment of, like, if you don't do this week, then you don't get to do the fun thing on the weekend or something.
Or can you be successful without discipline?
Is Maggie, because we like words of affirmation so much, I feel like the positive reinforcement is so key. Because whenever I, like, do the dishwasher, I'm like, Joe, tell me, like, it was good. Like, even though it's, acknowledge like, me, the basic minimum. Acknowledge me for doing this, because then I'm like, I'll do it more. If you're like, hey, thank you so much for doing that, or, like, you're incredible for doing the dishwasher, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'll go do the dishwasher more often.
Yeah,
that's very true. Maybe I need more punishment though, of, like, stopping myself. That's why I feel like I give myself too much freedom and too much, like.
But is that really a bad thing? Like, really creative people just go with the flow all the time. They're not worried about structure and discipline, and they just do it when they feel you know?
But there's, like, some things that I know I need to fix. Like, I need to find a therapist, first of all. Like, that, like, I need to be doing this. But, like, there's some weird things, like, I don't know if it's my anxiety or whatever, but, like, oftentimes, like, email is a big one where I just, like, won't open the emails because, like, it stresses me. I get so overwhelmed about them. I don't even want to read it. Like, I just won't open it for, like, days. And I was in a period where I was being most successful and I was getting the most brand deals and everything where I was ignoring that. Like, I was making myself every single day open all of them and answer all of them and reply quickly to everything. And that was like when I was doing my best. But I don't know what in my brain like stops me from doing that. It's the same with texts and phone calls too.
Yeah. I think it's the unknown piece of it. And I actually wrote this down today because I was like, oh, if I had just done my taxes earlier, I would have seen that everything's fine. But I just kept putting it off.
But like when you live in that limbo of like, maybe it's fucked up or maybe it's fine, it's easier than like knowing, because like you don't want to know that it's bad.
Yeah.
But then living in that limbo is like what anxiety is almost.
Exactly.
Like it's like,
yeah,
will
but
it
that's
be
like
good?
kind of
Will it
what
be
your
bad?
brain is doing. Yeah, your brain doesn't want to know that you failed or something. So you're staying in this the possibilities are endless if I don't check, if I don't do it.
For sure. I feel like I'm having a lot of realizations in this episode.
I know. My hardest thing though is really remembering this stuff. Maybe it's just I have to listen back to our episode when I'm feeling like shit. Like you guys can just send me the episode and I can listen to everything we kind of like talked through. But that's been my biggest like roadblock is just how do I remember to think through these different ideas and concepts and like all of the things when I'm in those moments.
Yeah. So do you guys have like goals, or not even goals, but just things that you want to keep doing or start doing to keep pulling yourself out of the funk?
I think actually for me is that one of my things that I'm bad at is like asking for help. And obviously I talked about that in the beginning, like thinking that I'm not worthy of help or something. But for me, I need to actually do real things like go to therapy and get like medication possibly. I need to like do that for myself, because just going, like normally I'll be like, I'm going to go to Starbucks and take Willow to the park. Like those are my little mood booster things, but it's not
long.
It's not a lasting effect. Yeah.
I think medicine helped me to be able to take more of those steps to like help myself further, if that makes sense. Not that like I'm like perfect now and do everything to make myself feel better, because not at all. But when I was like really deep in depression, it allowed me to do those things of like just going outside or doing a workout or something or showering, like when I wasn't motivated to at all.
Yeah, but like for me, I'm still doing those things, but I still feel sad, you know? So it's like obviously
that
gotta
doesn't
be
mean
something
it's not real.
like a chemical imbalance. Yeah, but I'm saying like yeah, like I just feel like maybe medicine or talking to someone or something would be more helpful.
Did you bring this up with your doctor?
Out. No, because I had other things I had to bring up and I didn't want to waste her time.
You're not a waste of anybody's time, especially your doctor who you are paying.
My insurance is paying. Well, I'm paying my insurance.
Same thing.
You're paying your insurance a nice chunk of money. You deserve it. What about you? Do you think that there's things that you want to keep doing to pull yourself out?
I was thinking lately, well, one, how we just always talk about how like we always have like my mind is constantly going from the second I wake up till I go to sleep, and I'm distracting myself with podcasts or music or TV or all the different things. I feel like when I used to do like a devotional thing in the morning.
What's that?
And it like, well, you can do it like with the Bible and stuff, or like there's like books separate from the Bible, but it's like you kind of just like sit, and then it's almost just like motivating quotes or things, or like a story or something to just like help you feel better. And I think since I've like pulled away from religion more, like I don't do that at all, because I'm not like ever just like sitting with myself. It's the same thing as journaling or anything like that. But like how we get so forgetful of like reminding ourselves all the things that we do know to make ourselves feel better, all the things that we like learn in therapy or have talked about here, whatever that we know will help. you just don't remember it at the time. And so I think I want to like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to find something that is like maybe not religious, or maybe something that is religious but in the way that I would like or believe more, but like taking time to remind myself of those things like in the morning or something, and have like not a podcast on while doing so.
I wonder if there is like a daily like motivation journal or something.
Yeah, like something like that.
There's this journal called 60 Days Away that it's been out of stock for a long time, but I think it's back in stock, and I wanted to try that 60 Days Away journal notebook. So it's like a guided journal with prompts, and it goes in order, so it probably gets like more deep as you go, and you're supposed to like feel much better after 60 days.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is it on Amazon?
Yeah.
Did you find it on TikTok?
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok and it was sold out for like, I wanted to get it for January, but it was obviously, everybody wants that shit for the first of the year.
In January, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to look for it in my drawers, but I think I threw it away.
What are you looking for? Oh.
So I'm just going to read an example. Because it's like a lot of the times, that's how I feel about the Bible, is like that they're not real stories and that they're like motivational things or like lessons to be learned. And so that's kind of what's helpful with it, is it's like teaches you those things over and over again.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they have journals like that.
Probably. The one you talked about sounds like it.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
It does sound good. And I like that you said it kind of like guides you into it, so it's not like all at once.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like journals are kind of repetitive. Like I'm just supposed to do this every day for the rest of my life. I don't really know, but I like how the 60 Days Away one kind of has like a end point where you're supposed to like see the results and like finish by then.
I like that too, because I don't like when it's like the same question every day, like even the guided ones, but it's like the same prompt.
Yeah. I'm like, I wrote the same thing last week. I don't really know what else to say to you. Journal.
Yeah.
I feel
still
like
grateful for my dog.
I definitely do something different.
You know how many times I've written
journal.
Chelsea Handler swears by like just for 30 days every day writing one thing you're grateful for when you first wake up, and every time I try to do that, I'll go like a few days and then I'll be like, I don't know what else to write.
I think you have to like, because it's so easy to be like you're thankful for your friends and family or like things like that, but if you think like little things, I don't know, like you're thankful that there's grass in the park near your house.
I was just thinking grass. Like, but like I'm thankful for the way the grass feels on my feet or something. That's so weird.
I'm thankful for grass.
I am really thankful for grass. You know, grass. Oh, that too.
Oh, but yeah, or like I'm thankful that my sister makes dinner once a week for us.
Or, yeah, like rather than saying things. For your sister. Yeah.
Maybe I'll try again. These are giving me good ideas. Maybe it's because I try to do it in the morning when my brain is not working at all.
Maybe.
And all I can think about is like, last time I did it, I just kept thinking about the weather, because that was the first thing I did. Is I stepped outside and it was nice out, and I would just be like, I'm thankful that.
You could always do it before you go to bed, so you like have a whole day to reflect on of like whatever you were grateful for that day.
True.
Like there's so much. Like I'm thankful ring lights exist. I'm thankful McDonald's chicken nuggets exist.
Yeah.
Thankful.
I cannot wait for you to partner with McDonald's again this year.
Same. I've been like highly interacting with their Oregon and Washington accounts.
Oh, really?
Have you messaged that PR person?
Yeah, like in January, and she said they're not having anything right now, but I'll do it again.
Of course.
It's a new quota, so it's perfect timing.
I need to do, honestly, bro, like what you were saying a lot with pitching, because like my thing is like getting too overwhelmed, and then where I'm like, okay, like I'm not gonna do any of it because like there's so many brands that I want to reach out to, or there's so many things that like I need to accomplish. Like how you give a layout on like, okay, on Monday make the list, on Tuesday do this, on Wednesday do this, on Thursday do this. Like that helps a lot, I feel like, to spread it out.
Yeah, and then you don't have to like try and remember to do a follow-up on Monday, but also write a pitch on Monday and then research on Monday as well.
Yeah, like that's so much. And it's like when you're trying to do that with 10 brands.
Yeah, and maybe just do one brand a week to start out.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's instead like, to me, I'm like, I gotta do 10 or nothing.
Yeah.
But you're so right. Like, if I would have started that in January of doing one a week, then that would already be fucking, what, 12, 14?
Yeah. It is kind of crazy how, like, something once a week just seems so insignificant, but, like, there's 52 fucking weeks in a year. Mm-hmm. So, something will stick.
For sure.
I really feel like this week I got back into journaling, so I think that's really helpful. Because it's just, like, such an eye-opener. So maybe I'll just try and do more, like, consistent journaling.
Can you, like, text us when you journal to give me a reminder?
Yeah, that's a good idea. And I'll post on my stories, too.
Okay.
That'll help me. My favorite thing in, like, the spring is to, like, there's, like, the little pond stream thing, waterfall thing out in our backyard. And it just, like, is so peaceful. And so
I love that.
I know, like, I'll probably do more journaling because it's like such a vibe of an environment.
That's nice.
I need to figure out whatever the winter version of that is because that makes me so much more motivated to journal.
Do you have like a fireplace?
Yeah, but it's not like that cozy.
Oh, maybe you should make it cozy.
Well, I really want to put like a little space in my office, like a couch and coffee table and everything, but TBD. Might be a minute.
I just felt like I had such an important thought and then it went away.
Always happens to me. And I'm always like, I'll remember it. I don't need to write it down.
I know.
And I always forget.
I really try and write everything I think down.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, my brain just goes all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And it oftentimes doesn't come back very quickly.
I don't think it's coming to me. All that's going is like, remember.
So
no, I don't remember.
Dang
it. What was the beginning of what you were just saying?
I'm going to journal more often.
Having a place in the winter that's motivating to journal.
Outside being really nice and
cozy
easier to
fireplace.
Journal outside. Posting on stories to journal.
Wait, maybe. Yes. Thank you. The other day in Dog Mom Club, somebody asked me what things to do to like motivate yourself or like how to actually accomplish the things that you want to. And like I was like, I don't know. Or like the way for me, like I noticed what I do a lot is like I literally have to like make it into a challenge or something where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make videos about this or something to where I have to live up to other people's expectations of like I need to post this video or else people will be upset or something, which obviously they wouldn't be. But like instead of just relying on myself to like have the motivation to do the thing, it's like I need somebody else to like hold me accountable almost, and like I need to make it a whole challenge for myself.
Yeah
I feel that. And I guess it's similar to like we were talking about like we're each other's coworkers. Like
we basically have a business together.
The like posting on stories or creating content is like doing something with your coworkers like online.
Yeah, true.
I like that. I think I want to do that a little bit more, but I need to again adjust expectations of like how often I'm going to do it or like what I'm going to share and have more of a structure for, not a structure necessarily, but just like more of a plan for it so that I can be successful, because I get really excited at the beginning, but then like the follow through is hard sometimes. So
he's like, if you're not in the mood,
like adjust it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And make it easy to accomplish.
I know, that's like when I did a Q&A this week, I was like in the mood to answer questions when I first posted about it. And then an hour later, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do a Q&A. Why
that is literally it, Dev. The Q&As. I want to do those like once a week. And it is so hard. Like, I think that's where maybe once a month needs to be for me.
Yeah.
That's hard. Because I get through like 5 questions and I'm like, I'm over it.
It's like, why did I think I wanted to do this? That's funny.
I was like doing them once a month, and I feel like I haven't done one now in like 3 months probably.
Same.
That's a good idea. I feel like the people who do them on the same day every single week, like I feel like those people are so successful. Like people come to their story every day on that day of the week to specifically watch the Q&A, and I love that. Like I do that for several people.
That's why I like want to start doing it once a week, because I know like the consistency of it helps other people too.
And it'd probably help yourself. Like for me, like I do a Q&A every Monday for Dog Mom Club, and like I love that. Like it's like one of my favorite things, and because I do it every single week now, it's like easy to do, and it's like part of my schedule now. So, but then I'd have to do a whole nother day, and then that'd be 2 days a week of a Q&A.
I worry that a lot of people get bored of a Q&A. Like they just are skipping through.
I don't think so. I think people love
skip
Q&As.
through people's Q&As, so maybe that's why I think that.
I like Q&As.
I do too.
I guess not for everybody, but for certain people, I like them.
Yeah.
Like I always watch Tinks's Q&As.
Yeah.
She does one every Monday and Thursday.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
I guess if people that I liked were doing Q&As, but it's usually people that I don't really care about, so I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
I don't really care about anyone right now. It's probably because I'm depressed.
Probably all the things you're saying is like, if you look at all the symptoms of depression.
Maybe if you contacted like a therapist office or a psychiatric office instead of your doctor, you would feel like more okay with it, because like that's like literally their job. Is to,
well, like my sister just recently went to a psychiatrist and got like medication and stuff, but I feel like she's way worse than me. I don't need to go to a psychiatrist, like that's how I feel. And maybe it's because I have a sister that's like very emotional and emotive about how she feels, so I feel like my whole family knows Lexi's depressed, but like they think I'm fine because I have my shit together, basically.
But if you were not comparing yourself to anybody else and like only comparing it to you, then like all the things that you're saying.
But that's the other thing too, is like right now you're like quote unquote okay, but like in 3 months from now, like if everything keeps building on itself, it could be in like a much, much worse place.
Yeah.
Just because you're not like getting the proper help that you need.
Yeah.
Which would like suck, because you like reflect back and be like, oh, I kind of knew I needed help in April, like, and now it's whatever month. And
for sure.
Yeah.
We should make a challenge. Next week, we need to find a therapist.
Okay.
At least reach out to like 2 people.
I don't want to.
Okay.
You
don't have to, but I need to.
I need to, but I don't want to.
I want to. Really, like, I need it. Like, I miss, like, literally the podcasts are my therapy. Like, I miss being able to, like, just vent about whatever. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I want to be able to get over my travel anxiety so that I can start traveling again. Especially if I'm going to Hawaii at the end of this year. I can't be having that shit.
For sure. Yeah, that's a far trip.
Okay, so we need to find somebody next week. Or at least start
just reach out.
Just start the process next week.
Yeah.
Small steps at a time.
Small steps. I like it. It's a good goal.
Not book the first appointment.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you've been wanting
next week.
Yeah. I know that several of our listeners also have been looking for therapists. So you do the challenge with us also. The week that you're hearing this episode, we shall be looking. So
we can update every week too.
Yeah. That's fun.
So that'll hold us accountable. So fun.
I do think it's fun. But I also avoid it, I guess. So maybe I don't think it's the most fun. It's more finding someone that's on my insurance now, because my last one was $120 a week. And like, I'm not doing that with my own money. My mom was paying for that.
I think I need to do like every other week too.
I think like, I might need every week at first. And then
every week was too draining for me. I started to dread it. So
especially with EMDR though, too. Like that was intense. Didn't you do that?
No, I just did talk therapy. It was too much.
Wait, what about the tapping?
Oh, yeah, that's different though. That's once a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. That's something I should do more of, because that fucking works like magic.
I see.
I just don't have the discipline to do that stuff. But if I had an appointment, then I would. So
yeah, I think it's just also fine, like, not just, it's similar to journaling and like the prompts and stuff. Like, it's with there. I'll have to find the guy that like has a bunch of them, but like you can type in like what you're feeling and then this guy's name, and like a video will pop up to guide you through it, and it's so much easier to do it guided.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I definitely can't do, like, I'm not in a place right now to like tap on my own and just like make up the sequences and stuff. Like, that's not, I'm not there. But following the other people's stuff is like so helpful.
Yeah, that sounds good. I would have no idea.
I know, just like,
yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
That is like, but you know, the breathing thing, like it's kind of hard to like breathe. That's where I think the tapping is so nice, because it's easier to, you can just like tap on your face, like you can do.
Yeah, and it kind of feels good, like it.
Yeah,
it's almost like ASMR. Like, I don't know, it just like calms you down, you know?
Yeah.
Really brings you back to your body though.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's why I'm so excited to have a backyard with grass, and like that I can just like go around myself and like be barefoot in the backyard. Because when I'm going to the park, I'm not like taking off my shoes.
Laying dog shit.
That's true. I am concerned with how big the backyard is. Like, I was thinking about, how do you guys train them to go in a certain part of the yard, or do they just go wherever?
They go wherever.
I have a friend who made like a litter box for her dogs, like a little a boxed area on the ground where they have to go potty. So she like taught them to only go potty.
That's what I kind of want to do, like pick like just an area, but that would require me to go out with them every single time they go to the bathroom for probably a few months.
Could be worth it, though.
Could be, for sure.
You could always build like a dog run in the side for like the bathroom, and then they go to the bathroom and then they run to the rest of the yard.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially since you have like such a big space.
Yeah.
That's what my parents did at like our first house. There was like a side gate, and then they would go to the bathroom, and then they open up the gate to like the rest of the yard.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
Because my mom was so tired of like dead grass.
Yeah, because they pee on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that aspect. It like turns yellow.
Get Sunday has like some sort of like grass thing. I'll have to tell you if it works or not, but I bought it last year.
Okay.
Willow just goes on the patio, which is disgusting, but it's kind of easier to clean up. I don't have to walk around all the rocks and stuff.
Yeah, that's really very true. Do you like just use a hose?
Well, I don't clean up her pee.
Oh, it just soaks in the concrete.
Yeah. Well, I try to not let her pee on the concrete, honestly. But she does sometimes.
She does what she wants.
She's a rebel.
Mm-hmm.
Love her.
Okay, any other closing thoughts?
No, I think that's all.
I think so. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave us a review and rate us 5 stars. If you listen on Spotify, make sure you follow the podcast so you'll get notified when we have new episodes every Tuesday, and leave us 5-star review. If you listen on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.